Sabor de Cuba, bass line, quintessential Latin jazz bass line. Lots of root, fifth, and octave. And what you'll notice in the chord progression is that it's very repetitive. So there's not a lot of moving around. Find the spot to play it and stick with it. And I chose a spot that doesn't require much movement around the bass at all. And the variation comes in the accent. So is the accent on the beat or is it off the beat? Does the chord change with the downbeat? Or is the chord change anticipated? And we'll look at each of those rhythms as the tune progresses. Intro bass line is this sweet C minor progression. Playing it down here, right? Root, third fret of the A string, fifth fret of the D string, octave, fifth fret of the G string, and we're in this box between the first finger and I use the pinky. Once we get to measure 17, we get to the A7 and the B13. I move up here. Because we end up back in this root octave phrasing when we get to the D and the E flat and the E major 7 at measure 22. So again, I'm avoiding the open strings and staying in this closed position. At measure 29, we move into cut time, which you can kind of think of as double time. The pulse picks up. And we get the introduction of the clave. The clave, in Spanish, clave translates as the key. And so it is the key to Latin and Afro-Cuban rhythms. In Western music, you might think of the backbeat as the clave. And the band sinks in behind that. In Latin and Afro-Cuban, you have a variety of different rhythms that are called claves, which are the keys to the rhythm. In this we have, you'll notice the guaracha, which is what it's stated here. It's a Cuban style of cabaret music. And the clave, you'll hear in the background. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very syncopated, right? And we see that reflected in the bass line. At measure 32 and 36, we have the G7 eighth note run. It outlines the G7 arpeggio. You can play that G at the fifth fret of the D string, and then open D, B second fret of the A string, G at the third fret, and then the octave at the fifth fret of the D string. Moving into the melody from measures 37 to the piano break at 89. The very repetitive rhythm, quintessential Latin bass line. 1, the and of 2 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, at cut time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Couple of variations in there where the bass line moves with the melody. Measure 51, measure 85, and a little variation at the end there, measure 88. Solos from measure 97 through 117. We have a very similar rhythm, right? 1 and of 2, and then the 4. But instead of the chords changing right on the downbeat of the next measure, the chord of the following measure is anticipated on the 4. So in the melody section, right, we F, D, G. Right on the downbeats, now we anticipate the chord. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Very cool, very jazzy. At measure 116, we got a little riff coming out. 1, 2. Okay, playing that, we got the G at the 5th fret of the D string with our first finger. Going to the B flat at the 8th fret. And then C, 5th fret of the G string. And then E flat, 8th fret of the G string. Back to the C.